Welcome to my latest video, tracking old railway lines in the Telford, Shropshire and surrounding areas. On this journey I'm going to be looking at the railway that ran between Nantwich and Wellington. The line opened in 1963 between Nantwich and Market Drayton, which was 11 miles long, and then the second section from Market Drayton to Wellington, which is 16 miles long, opened in 1867. Well, on the other side of that fence is the Wellington to Shrewsbury line. Behind that fence there is where this line branched off to go in a northerly direction. My guidebook says to me that there isn't much left of this railway line. There's very little left of station buildings, and the track bed itself is very sparsely found. Well, I'm hoping to prove the book wrong and see what I can find on my journey. This first part's going to be easy on a cycle track, but it's going to get a lot harder. I'm going to start here in Wellington and work my way up to Market Drayton and then up into Cheshire and up to Nantwich. Let's just have a quick look at the route. I've got a map here of the railways of this particular area. The black lines you can see on the map are the existing railways. So we've got the line that comes up from Wolverhampton through Wellington in Telford to Shrewsbury with its branching lines. Then we've got the one line which goes up to Nantwich and up to Crewe. We can see its branching lines, one of which is down to Stafford, the West Coast Main Line, of course. Now the line we're looking at here is Wellington here. The disused line is the dotted red line all the way up to Nantwich. The line bearing to the right is the North Staffordshire Railway line to Stoke. Let's just take a look at the line in a little bit more detail and have a look at the stations. So we've got Wellington, then Crudgington, Peploe, Hodnet, Turnhill and Market Drayton. And at Market Drayton we have the spur across to Stoke, but we're going to be going up towards Adderley, Aldlam and then join the main Crewe to Shrewsbury line at Nantwich. And then we're going to finish finally up in Crewe. And this first section is a nice cycle path, part of the Silking Way, and I'm going to start to head my way north on the first part of this 27-mile journey. Well, I'm now between Admonston and Bratton, and yet another bridge across the railway here, and unfortunately once again not the original bridge. And this is the view looking north. Well, I've reached the northern tip of the footpath. One of the reasons we've got this footpath because it's part of the Silking Way, which is a 14-mile walk through Telford, which goes from Coalport to this point here. Now all of this walk, all 14 miles, from Bratton down to Coalport, is part of Telford New Town. And we have a plaque here about Telford New Town. This walkway was named the Silking Way by the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable James Callaghan, MP, on the 1st of April 1977. Fortunately, this is where the walk comes to an end, and from this point it's going to be very hard to track the line. The line actually went through that hedge, across the road and into the fields beyond, and it's from there that we're going to try and track it now. Well, I've moved round to where the bridge was, and I was just standing up on there a moment ago, and we do have the remains of a bridge here, and for the first time today I've seen an original bridge. And straight away you can see how difficult it is going to be to follow this railway line. The track followed that line of trees and through that red gate in the distance, which now has all been incorporated into this field. Well, I've come about a mile up from that last location, and now you can really see what I'm up against. Believe it or not, this thick wooded area here is where the track used to run. It's a bit different from that cycle track that we started on the Silking Way. And this is the bridge over the line at Crudgington. And this is the view of the line now going south. And I believe the station was on the left, because over there behind the tree you can see the chimney pot of the old station house, and indeed it's called the station house today. And once again, it's still hard to believe that this was the old railway line. Having said that, if we go on the other side and look northwards, the old line has been taken over by the creamery here at Crudgington and looks even less like a railway line. And here we can see a picture of Crudgington Station circa 1910. It's interesting that a railway which wasn't that particularly busy had two lines. This picture shows about 5 people working at the station, which outnumbers the passengers. Probably fairly typical on this line. I've reached the line at Waters Upton, and you can clearly see the path of the railway with the Wrekin nicely behind. Some of that I was able to walk, but most of it's on private land. However, if we look northwards, there is absolutely no trace of the railway line there at all. I've now reached the second station on the line, which served the small village of Peploe. And here we see Peploe Station, actually not long before closure. The motorbike with a UJ registration giving it away a bit there. Looks very different from today's scene. Now this is a very, very rural area and couldn't have attracted many passengers. I was just looking at that tree in the book. There is the very same tree today. This is the line from the bridge, and this is looking south. And this is the line running north towards Hodnet, and the station would have been here on the right hand side. Well, I've reached Hodnet now, and the station is just to the right of the bridge that you can see in the distance. And this picture is Hodnet Station as it was about 100 years ago. And this is the scene today. Absolutely nothing left of the original station, unfortunately. We can see the track bed going north towards Market Drayton, but nothing left of the old station. Looking south, well, it's just incredibly overgrown and not much to see at all, apart from the old bridge structure. You can see the road bridge is still standing, still being used, not in the greatest repair though. And this is the site of the old station. Sadly, absolutely nothing left at all. I'm going to take the trail now up towards Market Drayton. Inevitably, as time went on, the line became less and less popular, less and less passengers. It was serving very rural communities, and the inevitable fate came in 1963 when the line closed. The sad thing is they've neglected it. There's been no preservation of the buildings, the line's just been left to rot and decay and get overgrown. Cheshire County Council looked at the possibility of a footpath, but they said it would be uninteresting. So what are they saying? Is that South Cheshire is not a place of natural beauty? I think it was a case of priorities, and I think the canal took over as a priority than the railways.